Our next lesson is going to be simple landscaping to give you an idea of how to put things into nature there. We all have started out drawing trees like this, okay? Lots of people draw trees like that. Some people draw trees, depending on the season, like that. Okay, that's good for sketching and, getting an idea basically, real quick, we're going to have the forest, but let's not try and draw trees like this anymore for finished artwork. One technique for drawing trees, and this will be a very big leafy tree, is we start drawing the trunk, okay, and then eventually the trunk starts growing up into the various branches, okay. They come out at different angles, and they have a different amount of weight on them, and they're carrying different loads, so they might be bending or they might be thicker and they still keep growing up like that. So you want to, as a start, if you're working in pencil, I can't do this, I'm not doing this one in my marker anymore, I'm doing this one in pencil, but at least we have a start, it's a little bit more realistic looking tree. And what you do after this, if it isn't a winter scene or early fall, that kind of thing, you can start erasing out areas where we're going to start seeing a lot of leaves, okay? And we can look through the branches and see different formations of the branches in the background, okay? And then you'll kind of draw in these big patches of leaves. Okay, we're trying to make this look a little more realistic. All right. And you'll always see branches popping through the leaves. Okay. All right, and then you can shadow these to some extent on the bottom if the sun's up here, of course. And again, this is just a quick treatment of what a nice big leafy tree would look like. Okay, so you can see we have the highlights on the tops of the collections of leaves here, and yet there is some dark areas for shadow where you have the undergrowth or the bottom sides of all these formations, all these different groupings, and we still see some of the branches popping through. And other elements that you might want to keep in mind when you're doing your landscaping is, all of you have looked out over a long vista and seen how the light affects the depth of what you're looking at. Things much closer to you are darker, and things much further away tend to be lighter. So, like a mountain range in the background or hills in the background, depending even on the time of day, it could be, like a very light, pale blue-green way back here. And when you're even in that area, it's like a really nice, bright, vibrant green. This, of course, will all get darker in through here, and you can do all different kinds of things. Tree lines are just the same way. This could be a tree line up here on top of a ridge line. You can use your imagination for all different kinds of things. Myself, I like to draw aviation type things. I'm really big on drawing airplanes. So, they're always flying, and there's always all types of clouds. I love painting clouds, particularly cumulus. And, this is where you actually get a little more creative, and you can go out, spend some time looking at the clouds. Typically, they're nice big cumulus, and the darker areas on a cloud are usually from being in shadow from clouds ahead of them closest to the sun. And you've got the dark areas down there, and there's always some little wisp of gray floating through there because it got knocked out of sunlight by some other clump right here, So you know, you can come up sketching real quick some really nice cloudscapes as well, and they fit real good into backgrounds, any kind of thing. And again, remember, you know, that's the closer to you they are, they're a little bit darker and they'll be much lighter in the background. And depending on the time of day, you know, the atmospherics change colors on everything. In fact, trees can even take kind of an orange tint, even though they're green, a reddish tint. The tops of the trees, as the sun is going down, you know, the tops are hit with sunlight, and then eventually they all change through. But, you know, it's the same thing with clouds, and clouds even get all kinds of different reds and oranges. There's a color carmine, which is a really nice color to use for cloudscapes. You know, it's fun just getting out and sometimes just sketching and, you know, filling up a page with this kind of thing. So that's a basic lesson in landscape artwork.